Hello everyone, my name is Emmanuel. I'm 25 years old and I've been in love with Ashley since the first time I laid eyes on her.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I am 25 years old and I have been with Emmanuel for 4 years. Both of my parents are born and raised in Haiti, and but I'm originally from Jersey. I was born in Newark and raised in Union, New Jersey, but my household is completely Haitian. You wouldn't know where exactly I was because that's all I knew was my culture. But yeah, that's where I'm from. Around 2013, my parents got divorced. So it's been my mom, my sister, and me banging it out ever since. You know, a part of who I am is really just seeing my mother's strength and just her instilling, just seeing how she's handled that situation has really made me be much stronger and just kind of realize like, wow, like she's such a strong woman and just a perfect person in regards to that. When Emmanuel came into my life, like I was very content with being single. To be very honest with you, I was that type of girl that went to sleep peaceful. I had no issue, you know, I mean, really, like with all of my friends, I was that friend that they came to with stress, like, let me tell you, like, this boy did this or this. I wanted no parts of that, first of all. So when Emmanuel came into my life, I didn't give him the easiest time because I didn't want stress. I love my sleep. But you know, since he's came into my life, he really has made me believe like not all men are that toxic energy that society can put out there. He really has like created a sense of peace, of security for me. He makes me feel warm. He makes me feel fuzzy on the inside. And so, you know, being 4 years later, I look back, I'm like, wow, I really used to be that girl. Like I was a tough cookie. I was very tough to break. So, yeah, and like I said, I love my sleep, but he hasn't ruined it yet. So doing good.
I am Nigerian. I was born in Nigeria, moved here in 2001 when I was just a little kid. So, but being Nigerian, I'm very proud of my heritage, and it's something that I hold very close to me, and it's something that, you know, although I was mainly raised here, it's something that I kept within me with the help of my parents, my siblings, and family members, and you know, keeping that culture is something I kept strong within me into my adulthood. Come from a two-parent household. You know, being Nigerian, a lot of my Nigerians can possibly relate to where, you know, your parents can sometimes be very objective and, you know, a lot of times be fueled by the ability of being successful because they came here with the main objective of being successful and setting something up for their family. So they can sometimes be consumed with that and then, you know, put that pressure on the children. So, you know, growing up, a lot of things I did was geared towards like always trying to make sure like I was the best at it, or I was doing this good, or I was doing this as best as I can, which is honestly, it's a great trait to have, but sometimes you do also need to take the step back and have the ability to really understand that you are doing everything that you can, and you don't have to put all of this pressure on yourself to be successful. So in the next year, I just see us like, you know, continuing to grow and flourish together, and you know, like relationships aren't always easy, but when you're with someone that you know you really care about, it makes it worth it. So I just see us continue to grow and understand each other, and continue to have a better understanding of how we can unconditionally love each other. So I guess like we technically met in college at Fairleigh Dickinson University. I guess our official meet was most likely in the student. It was in the student union building.
Yeah.
That was the first time we ever met. And who made the first move was my friend, who I didn't ask to make the move. So I think she can speak on on how like the first move happened. So
I feel like everybody starts a story like so boom, like so this is what happened, right?
Alright, so boom, you know.
So I was pretty much in the cafeteria, and at the time like I was a nursing major. So again, I didn't really have time for. Being in a foreign household is you go to school for books and that's just it. You know, get your A and you leave. You're not here to really, you know, gallivant and have a boyfriend. What is that? So, you know, I don't know. I really was like serious about that. So I was sitting in the cafeteria with my other friends, and this guy comes to the table. He wasn't trying to talk to me. He was trying to talk to my friend. And he goes like, oh, Ashley, by the way, there's one of my friends. He's like really interested. He runs track and stuff like that. And I said, oh, really? Like, where is he? He goes, oh, he's sitting right behind you. I turned 2.5 seconds later, I turn my head, I'm like, no. Continued eating, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I I really could not stand when, especially back then, if you're trying to come to me, I really feel like, why are you sending your friend? Like, if you are a man and you feel like, yeah, like I'm about to come approach you, you send your friend, embarrassing. So I turned, I'm like, yeah, no. And that was that. I completely dismissed him. And I didn't know him. I thought he was a freshman, first of all. I completely like shut him
I transferred
all the way down. He transferred. So it was our sophomore year and he transferred. And it's a small campus, so since I didn't see him before, I assumed he was a freshman. I'm like, oh, and a freshman at that, the audacity. I was just so like over it.
Our best date was our second Valentine's date. And pretty much, actually it was our first. It was our first Valentine's Day. And pretty much a little backstory and also ties into me sometimes, you know, being in Boston and ready to jump into things. And her just being a little bit more, you know, attention to detail and like fully thinking out the full scope of things. So, you know, we're talking in the middle of the week, like Valentine's Day's coming up and like, we're gonna go out to dinner, we're gonna do this. And she's like, you know, you should probably get a reservation, right? And like for me, like this is kind of like my first time like really doing this. So, you know, lack of experience. She's like, she was telling me the whole time, like, she's like, you know, you should get like some type of reservation and like call restaurants and make sure you have something reserved for that night. And I'm like, yeah, no, of course, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, like, I'm gonna get that done. Like, it's gonna happen. So, I think like the 12th, like 2 days or a day before comes, no reservation, and now I'm scrambling to find like, all right, where can I take her for Valentine's Day? And I'm thinking like, you know, we could just go to a restaurant and, you know, just young and dumb, young college kid, thinking we could just go to a restaurant on the 14th, on the most busiest days of love, and, you know, just get a table and sit down and eat. It was not the case. So, so like now I'm scrambling to find like some type of restaurant to give us a reservation, or like, can we walk in and stuff like that. So I think I find some restaurant on, was it Hoboken?
Yeah, like something along the water.
It was something along the water. So like, it was still a nice restaurant. I ended up finding a really nice restaurant. And they said, oh yeah, you guys can come in, we'll take care of you guys. And you know, as a broke college student, I looked at the menu and I assessed the prices. And I'm like, okay, I can deal with this, I can handle this. And I'm like, yeah, we can do this. So nice place, nice ocean view and stuff like that. So we get there, and this is where everything goes downhill. But this is when the story gets good. So we get there, and we sit down, and they give us a fixed menu. And the fixed menu said, like, what was it, like 120 per person?
Yeah, something like that.
It was like 100 or 120 per person, right? So, and at this point, like, you know, like this is like our like first Valentine's Day. So like, you know me, I'm sitting there like, what am I gonna do? Like, say we gotta go? Like,
so, dishes in the back? Like, that's embarrassing.
So you know, I just said, I'm like 120 per person, like impulse, we staying, we're gonna enjoy our Valentine's Day and stuff like that. But you know, I pretty much let her know. After a while, I'm like, yeah, you really got a fixed menu. And the menu they showed me is two times the menu that you're showing me now. So, I mean, I think what made that date the best date was like, and I just saw a lot about her, and like, that we were just able to enjoy ourselves because we laughed about, the whole day was just about laughing at how ridiculous this menu was.
The price, and at the end, like the price pretty much. So
I remember the price still to this day, like the exact price that they charged me. It was $254.82.
Right.
I was in college.
So like with the bill, pretty much, the thing is like I've been telling him since the beginning, make sure you book a reservation. And if he had did what I said, would book a reservation prior, it probably wouldn't have been at this super lavish, extravagant restaurant. Like it didn't have to be that. I didn't ask for any of that. Like I just said, make sure you have something set. So now, because you want to wait till the last minute, you get stuck with the super dramatic, like extravagant restaurant where you paying all this money, and I was still hungry. At the end of dinner, I just want y'all to know that I was starving. So it's like you paid all this money,
$254.82.
Right, so you pay all this money just for me to still be hungry. So it was like, at the end, we ended up going to Wendy's, through the drive-thru. I was happy with my fries, and we just laughed about it. And I think that moment was like way better than the whole entire, like him sweating bullets because he's like, woo, this is pricey. Because you know when you in college, you don't got it, spend it $200. Anyways, that's what made it like.
Yeah, no, it was just a very, very funny day because it was jokes the whole time. But after a while, I pretty much let her know, like, yeah, this bill about to slap me up.
But yeah, we've evolved.
Yeah, definitely.
I really love how he doesn't like conflict. So if there is something that's wrong with me, like he just wants to smooth it out as like fast as possible. Like I love his initiative. Like he just gets up and does it. Like, you know, as much as I can be like, okay, did you think about it? I also love that about him. Like I love, because I am an overthinker, sometimes when you're an overthinker, you think so much that you just remain stuck. Like you don't do anything, you don't move, and that's not it. But for him to just, you know, want to do something and get up and do it, like I adore that about him. And I think that just always making sure that I'm good and like, are you okay? Because he wants to like do that. If there's an issue, he wants to resolve it. Like, you know, if I want to be like, okay, well, you're bothering me, I don't want to talk right now, he just like, no, let's talk about it. Like that's his energy. But I love that about him.
I think black love to me is it's unconditional love in a world where us as black people, we don't always get that love. So I think it's the ability to have someone who loves you unconditionally, who respects and honors you when you know you may go out into society and you may not always receive those things. Like you walk back into your door and you come into the presence of your significant other, and you know they're able to provide that. They're able to provide you that, you know, that love, that uplifting, that upliftment, and you know just love you for your complete self, but also hold you accountable to be a better version of yourself every day.
Yeah, I mean I agree. I definitely feel like society does not always treat us as kind. Definitely as a black man, just in America, in general, as a black woman, always feeling like just the weight of the world on your shoulders. So I kind of feel like you go out in the world and you kind of have this mask on, always feeling like you have to be perfect. You have to like present yourself in a certain type of way. And so, two people can go out, you go do your thing, work, I'll go do my thing. And then when we come back home, it's like that, like I can really just, deep sigh. And not only that, but explain, decompress, but then explain how I feel in society and have someone that understands. I think that honestly, that embodies just that, and being unconditional, like you were saying. But yeah, that's what I think black love is.